This episode is brought to you by Sword Tiling, lead tiling specialists in the Northeast. Covering all aspects, including commercial and domestic, they've got you covered. So head to sword_tiling on Instagram and tell them St. James's Pod sent you. Welcome back to St. James's Pod. This week we're talking about Southampton and the semi-final. We've played the first leg. We've got a second leg back at St. James's Park. I'm joined by the boys to discuss what's going to happen. It's Pete, Alex and Jord. And we're back for St. James's Pod. First up, let's talk about transfers. I woke up this morning and I've seen the Gordon deal meant to be stalling. Whether that's true or not.
Seems to be on the fee, I think. Obviously, that 60 million was touted to Chelsea last summer. And Newcastle aren't paying any of that.
He's not worth that, is he?
I can still quote 60 million. Couldn't know it half.
It's outrageous.
And that is potential then. Can I fucking say 60 million? They're in a relegation, trying bottom of the league. I want 60 million or someone in there.
His form's nowhere near as good as it was that time, the last season, isn't it? So
it's obviously a number.
What do you make of him in general, though? Do you fancy him at the two now?
I do. So I think 80% of Newcastle fans don't want him. Purely because he's a bit ratty and he's a bit of a dick. The way he goes on, he does a lot of theatrics on the pitch as well.
But when he plays for you, you'd love that. When he plays for your team,
that's the thing. But see, I don't we've talked about this before. The whole time wasting and shit like that. I don't like it. I know there's some others that don't like it. Jordan, I don't know what your opinion on it. When against Liverpool and stuff like that, it's shit to watch. So if your player is doing what Gordon does, diving around, I think it gets a bit embarrassing. Maxi does it. Miggy used to do it quite a bit. And it's a bit man, just stay on your feet, man. I don't think it's what we're about. But for me, I've sort of not looked at that, and I think he's a player. He's had everything everything's had a shit season, so the players are going to look shit. You know what I mean? But last season was class. And I think his work ethics on the pitch is really good. I definitely think he's a player. He's aggressive, but I think
to take that positionally as well, it's where we need. Positionally, it's where we need. He can play across the front three, really.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I don't know. I'm still to be convinced. For the price tag, I'd say no at that price.
Isn't he mainly left winger though? I feel like we're quite stocked on the left wing.
I think he can play both wings. I think he's played for both for Everton. But you sometimes forget. He's been around a couple of years now. He's still 21. He's raw.
That's true.
Once again, have faith in Eddie and have faith in Ashworth if they think he's worth. Obviously they don't think he's worth 60 million because they're not fucking paying it. If they think he's worth I don't know 30, 35 with 15 million add-ons or whatever, it's been touted. For a 21-year-old, English, you can tell there's a player in there even though he's not playing.
He's played for the national team, but obviously at youth level as well, under 21s, under 20s, isn't there, whatever it is. I'm sure he has.
Yeah, there's definite upside in there. There's definite upside there. But
Toon fans obviously don't want him because how he's went on against us, diving a bit and complaining a bit, and obviously getting into a face last season before getting knocked for 6 by shot. It just shows he's passionate. People are absolutely loving it when Bruno does it again, against Southampton the other day when he's laughing and getting in people's faces. But obviously, they don't it's classic. They're happy to give it, but they can't take it, and that's. I mean, I'm not saying all Toon fans are like that, but there's definitely a portion who are don't like what Gordon done. So there was a tweet going around saying that was it for me. There's no chance I want him after that.
Yeah,
just showing that he cares. So
that's the thing, you see,
I wouldn't take it.
It kicks off on the pitch, and you see Joe Linton running up them and getting amongst it, and everyone in the crowd's going, "Fucking go on!" If Gordon's doing that, you're doing that the same. You'd be buzzing. I think you've just got to ignore all that crap. hopefully.
I'm sure you've just done 180 there, like. I'm sure I said that at the start, and you were like, "No, two fans won't like that."
He's fickle, you know.
Yeah, but that's what was putting me off. The fact that the way he goes on, but it's like
it's the diving that you don't like.
Yeah, the diving that I don't like. If he's getting in people's faces, like having a bit of a ruck, we all love that. But the diving that I don't like the way he does, because he was bad, like especially last season, he was so bad for it.
Yeah,
but he's a player. But I think he hasn't. For Eddie Howe and Ashworth to go on about how much they like characters and all that, the way he's conducted himself at Everton is rock bottom for me. Like not turning up the train and stuff like that, not a good start at all.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. Like
when you seen Trossard doing it the other day to try and force his move to Arsenal, like we were all saying, well, as a character, like you probably don't want Trossard after he's doing that. Like, are we being hypocritical if like we're doing the same with Gordon? That like he's not turning up a train, but we'll take him.
If you're going to do it, you have to do it. You have to fully do it.
Isn't he an Everton fan, Gordon?
Trossard? No, he's Belgian, mate.
Yeah, it's his boyhood club. That's what everyone's saying. He's like, how can you do that? Your boyhood club. Fair enough, you want out, but just conduct yourself better. If you want out, you want out. Like, nothing's going to stop that, but still go to training and just do your hours. Like, if we're at work and we want a new job, you don't just stop going to work and hope to find a new job there. So that's
what you should do is go on a wingy and just drive to the tune way outside the training pitch. If you're going to do it properly.
We'll talk about that on Talk Sport this afternoon. Like, we're saying like down meant to say it was bad, but remember when people always wanted him to all their memes went around when he's like climbing through the bathroom window and that.
It was unreal.
Dorsey, you were pictured outside the courthouse yesterday, weren't you?
It was this morning. I got popped on the way to work. Like I work on the quayside just behind the law courts, and like as I was turning up, there was must be about 10 people with like cameras outside, and I just never thought anything of it. I thought there'll be some like nonce turning up. So like as I was crossing the road, and then Pete came out the corner. But I was crossing the road, and then they all just started scrambling. And I was like, right, I'll get my phone out. I'll see like who's like coming out. And there was a car park just around the corner. And out steps fucking Joe Linton. I'm like, fucking well, I like walk straight past her, like let your meter from us, looks her straight in the eye, and like they're asking questions like, do you regret what you done and all that? Are you sorry? And he just like blank face, just walks straight past. So yeah, that was like 9 o'clock this morning as I was just strolling into work.
So he thinks you're like media scum now.
He probably thinks I'm a bit. He was giving us a look like he wanted to knock us out.
I mean, you did that. You were filming.
Got a face like
that. Lowest point of his life, and you're sticking camera in his face.
Have a bit more respect, man. Come on.
I didn't know it was going to be him, mate.
Yeah, there's a good picture. You're like, I don't know where did you take that picture from?
It was on the Chronicle.
The Chronicle.
There's like a little video of them coming around the corner, and I'm just like standing there, like, oh fuck, like. I look like I'm like just trying to like I'm just awkward as fuck, just trying not to be seen.
Now that you've stood like a foot away from him, do you have more like of a feeling how the players must feel when he's getting up in their face and that, and like screaming at them?
He's popping out that suit.
Is he an absolute unit?
He's stuck. Like I wouldn't want to go shoulder to shoulder with him. I'll tell you that much.
I would have thought it would have took like 2 bottles of wine to get him over the limit.
Well, that's
2
the thing.
glasses.
Like that.
Yeah.
I think it was it was a guy in a Toon tracksuit as well. Who was driving him, I think. So the club must have put it on. And he had like 1 or 2 security guys with him as well, like trying to obviously get the fucking pops out of the way. I think he was in and out in about 90 minutes or so. He's in fairly quick.
Wood and Wingy sat in the car waiting for him.
And Anthony Gordon picking him up.
On the other transfer front though, is that Brazilian lad, Matheus Franca, with a kid, 18-year-old. And we seem to be the only one touting them, but I mean, obviously that'll change soon. No doubt Arsenal, Chelsea are doing that. But
I would love
seems
to
like
say
we're
I've
not
heard of him.
It feels like we're not too far from valuation. Like,
Mengo.
I think we've offered like 16 million euros or something like that, and they want about 20, but with like a 50.
Yeah, they want
I think
20.
it's like 50% sell on.
Aye.
So feels like we'll end up meeting in the middle a bit if we're get them in.
Well, they said that they don't want to sell him, didn't they? But it might be an option to buy him and loan him back for the rest of the season. You know? Because he's obviously not going to go straight into the first team, is he? You'll just get more likely if he comes here. I'm surprised if he got loaned out anyway.
But I guess we're all in need of
I've seen a few clips of him, like, and
So was your last bit of any meal or something?
why not?
That's me, dog.
Was he on the news?
That's what I said.
Oh, get in.
Sorry. I didn't mean it. I did not mean it here.
She listens to this, mate.
Oh, nightmare.
It's a
She'll
joke.
be having it. Still down for it, though.
She did.
Jesus Christ.
We holding something.
He's just scratching.
Fucking hell.
Who off?
Matthias Franke. I've seen a few clips of him. He's like an attacking midfielder, isn't he? I think. From what I've seen, he looks a bit of a unit as well. I think. He looks alright. And Sam looks alright off his best clips on YouTube. You know what I mean?
The highlight reel.
Yeah, the highlight reel.
I'm sure I've seen a clip on YouTube where it was like "Welcome to Crystal Palace" or something, like 2-minute clip, and that was from like November or something.
Oh, God.
Palace also. I think that's
50%. 50% sell on seems huge, though.
It does seem
won't
massive.
agree with it.
If he's a talent, if we keep him for 5 years and sell him for 3 times the price, I thought a lot of money to sell him to get back from Flamengo. Like,
Yeah,
That's
you
probably
probably
the
want to
thing
go
that mainly worry about.
25%. Yeah. There's loads of good players coming out of Brazil. I imagine a lot of them, the deals are pretty similar.
Yeah. But
Well, like-
that's what I'm looking at.
Funny enough, that Alvarez that started for Southampton, he came straight out of was it Boca that he came from, and that was his first start again.
No, what's his name? Alacrez. Alacrez? Something like that, I think. It's not Alvarez, it's Alcaraz. Because he got sent off in that match.
Alcaraz,
10
yeah.
people got sent off. He got 10 people. 10 players got sent off, and he was one of them.
He looked decent, I think.
He did look decent. Yeah, Dan Burn.
Yeah, but back to transfers, that Fresneda, he seems to have calmed down a bit. The talks, like he's been linked with Arsenal and a few others, I think. Juventus.
Yeah, I know. In Arsenal, Juventus, and Dortmund. Arsenal seem to be like quite keen on him.
It's tough
when
we're competing with Arsenal, though. It's pretty tough. Like, obviously, we're trying to sell the project to them, but their project's looking pretty tasty at the minute, isn't it? So,
well, especially when they're sat top of the league, you know what I mean? They'll offer them more money as well than us.
Yeah, probably.
So it's hard to.
And it's London as well.
Yeah. I've also seen that we were linked with Ziyech as well, potentially. That was in the gossip as well.
I'd prefer him than Gordon, to be honest. But
especially if you've got like a loan with an option, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
See how he was like
he's older. How old is Ziyech?
He's like
Obviously gonna be
29.
older than,
mid 20s.
Yeah.
Is there a reported fee for him?
No. Well, what I read was just that we were looking at him as an alternative. There was no fee.
Everton as well, aren't they?
Oh, well, but even when Everton have taken photos and recorded videos, it doesn't mean they've signed them.
That was the belt of that one with Dan Zuma. What a classic that was.
Fantastic.
Proper YouTube.
Apparently he's done literally everything, but send the papers off to the FA, and then he was just like, nah.
Did you see that thing where someone was in his Instagram DMs?
I've seen the photo, but I'm not sure how real it is.
I don't know if it's real, but it's funny though.
Yeah.
Um,
Ed has been put a coy with transfer talk as well. Like whenever he's asked for the press, he says, "Nout," gives nout away. Like
I wonder how
even
involved he is.
He'll be very involved because
I think he's very involved.
You'll be picking on like personalities as much as like actual players. Ashworth will be like working with him, not just like over his head, no doubt. And I've heard that Stephen Nixon, he's actually getting a lot of praise for how he's run the scouting department. So it's nice to see.
I read something about that the other day, but I can't remember what it was. His name came up the other day, and I'm not sure what you were talking about. But it was along them lines that he's doing like a good job. About a certain player, I can't remember. But that's a first in a long time.
Uh-huh.
Since Graham Carr was raiding France.
The French Revolution that we had.
Before we move on from transfers, I don't think we've actually spoken about Wood leaving since it's actually gone through. And when you're talking about Eddie Howe, I get the impression from his press conferences and that he didn't really want to let him go. He's not that happy.
Well, obviously we didn't really want to let him go or something like that.
Yeah,
I think it's probably that we didn't have anyone lined up. I think that's the reason that he doesn't want to let him go.
It's left to a light in it.
I think
I'm sure I read a quote I read a quote that said he doesn't want to replace Chris Wood with another Chris Wood type player.
Yeah, not like for like.
Yeah.
Which suggests he didn't really like the way Wood played.
So he done his job, didn't he?
He's not. Unfortunately, he doesn't fit the philosophy, does he, of the attacking football or passing it around. He's a target man in the box, isn't he? And he's like, that's all he is. To head the ball. He's like a red horse for Man United. That's all he is.
Yeah.
Even red horse does not fit Man United at all. The way they're playing and passing it around, he's slower than Chris Wood in. And I know he scored the other night, but I think that's the same scenario. It doesn't work, doesn't fit. So probably best for both parties. As long as we can get someone in, obviously. Which is obviously we're looking at Gordon.
Yeah, I think that's the reason he's not happy, isn't it? Yeah. But it was too good of a deal to turn down.
I think he mentioned financials in his interview as well. He said he did. Financially, the deal was a very good one.
What was the deal?
I think it was a loan with an option. No, it's an obligation to buy for 15 million if certain clauses are hit. But apparently the clauses are like really easy, like maybe like Forrest staying up or like making 10 appearances or something like that. Like they said, like it's likely that we'll get that 15 million for Wood. I think, which is class, really.
So like 10 mil net spend for what he done for us. It's pretty
just save him. I'll keep him up.
Yeah, and gets him off the wage bill, doesn't it? So.
Well, this is it, especially now he's back fit.
Yeah, well, talking about Isaac, we'll move on to the Southampton game. Obviously, in the first leg. I mean, we'll come on to his part a bit later, but what were your thoughts in general? Just going over the game.
I felt we went, as fans, overconfident. Massively overconfident. And it's got nothing to do with the fact that we've already booked our train tickets to Celtic. But,
I'm sure the last time I was on the pod, we all said that we're going to win the cup.
We did. Yeah. We did. But,
I remember I asked you all that question and you all just laughed at us, Why
are you asking that question? For me, I was definitely overconfident. I thought, but it's a bit of a surprise because Nathan Jones looks like he's actually trying to do something there. I know it wasn't great, but I thought I could see how he was wanting to play. Which is obviously, he's only been there for a few games, so it's obviously a transition period. So you didn't really know what to expect. Well, we thought we were going to expect I was expecting like a 2-0, but they weren't shy on coming forward. They wanted to bring it to us as much as we took to them.
That's the thing, after the Palace game, I expected them to do exactly what Palace done and just sat in and try to play on the counter. and it was like so far from that. Like they pressed the ball like all around the park. The amount of times that they like usually it's us who presses the ball high and catches other teams high up the field. So many times like we misplaced passes and we got pressured into losing the ball in all like final third. Like I was really impressed with them. I was really impressed.
I think they obviously went in with the mentality of like, if they're going to go through, they need to win this tie comfortably because they're going to get, you know, we're going to be pressing them heavy at our place. So I think that's. I was impressed as well. I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, you can't over 2 legs. You can't really go for that tactic. It's just sitting back and hitting on the counter, can you? Because
especially if they're playing at home, they've got to go for it. They've got to put some sort of show on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually really like Nathan Jones. I like how he speaks as well. He's I really like him. But I think they just lack quality in what they were trying to do. They were misplacing passes left, right, centre. Don't get us wrong, we were, but that's not
Our
like
pass was terrible, wasn't it? Like
it's not like us though. It was only an off day. Or could we just not? Could we were put on the back foot with their aggression?
Their press.
Yeah. So we were sort of like back into.
I was wondering if it was nerves. Like biggest game a lot of these lads have had ever.
I don't know about nerves. Not when you got like you obviously got Trippier, Botman played Champions League. Trippier's won all sorts. Yeah, okay, you got Bernard Shaw, who haven't done a lot, but you got Bruno. I don't think it was nerves personally.
But there was something that knocked off our stride because there was so many of our players who were just constantly like giving the ball away, just like simple passes, giving them straight to Southampton. Like
I genuinely think it was the pace of the game. We did not expect it to be that. It was end to end, and it was so open. I don't think we expected it to do that. So
you know what I found? What I found really interesting after the game, Eddie Howe was talking, and he was basically saying because we don't have FA Cup this weekend, we're actually going to get a chance to train. So he's basically saying that because we've had such congested games, we haven't really trained. We've obviously been in like the training ground and talked tactics and done recovery and shit, but they haven't been out on the grass training.
Yeah,
so
preparing for a specific game.
Yeah, but it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that we've not really been seeing any like new set pieces or like we're struggling to break teams down and score goals, but we haven't really been changing anything up or trying anything different, which is because we've not been on the training ground. But it also means that Isak, for example, hasn't been getting any like time on the grass into his legs.
Yeah.
And this week he's gonna. So we'll come on to Isak if he's one. Obviously, he had a massive impact on the game. Do you expect him to be starting in the home leg? Or?
I wanted to start the away leg. We spoke about before, and I wanted him to start that purely because Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know, off it. I don't know why. I know it's probably since he's been poor, but I don't know because against Fulham, the only thing that wasn't there was his finishing.
Yeah, his shot seemed to be coming back, didn't it?
Yeah, but he was worse this game. Like, his first touch, I don't know, it was just something missing. Confidence, I don't know, because he hasn't scored in so long. But it wasn't, I don't know.
See, like going into this game, I like disagreed with you. I thought we'd start with the same starting lineup, and I was like, right, like I think Callum Wilson deserves his chance to like start in the semi-final and like prove himself. But like now, I'm agreeing with you. Like I think Isak should start. He looks so fucking sharp. He looks like really good. Like obviously he scored
some contrast from. I was going to say from Sheffield when we seen him. To now.
But that was his obviously first start back.
Yeah.
But like he just looks sharp. Obviously he scored the goal against Fulham. The only goal was scored in the last like 4 games before the cup game. He looked fantastic on Tuesday. Like. And Wilson does look off it. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's like the illness, like a little bit. Maybe not training as much. But he's not as his clinical self, which usually is Callum Wilson's like best attribute. His finishing is usually really clinical, and he's just not quite there at the moment.
Yeah, it might be good to keep him about the team for a bit. Like it might make him, get the fire in his belly a bit.
Hungry.
Yeah.
That's one thing we haven't played with the same team for a while now.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to mix it up. I know we've had injuries and stuff, and we don't have the depth as we keep talking about. But now that I'd actually want Maxi to start as well. I want Maxi to start alongside Isak. Maxi came out after the game himself and said that they've got a good relationship. That would be pretty and stuff like that.
I was saying on the group chat, like, them two could form a quality partnership. Like, you can just tell.
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm sure Maxi, like, he had more take-ons in the match than anyone else in the match. And he was on the pitch for, what, 23 minutes, was it?
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't long.
He also looked dangerous, but you've got to get the balance right, though, because Joe Linton and Willock both help out defensively, and Maxi doesn't. Yeah. So, like, all fans, like, clamouring for, like, Maxi to start. You've got to think both sides of the ball as well. He doesn't defend. Like, he's one less player to get back. So, if, like, Byrne, obviously, who had a fucking bit of a torrid time in the first, like, sort of 5-10 minutes against Saka, and then needed help of Joe Linton and Willock. Like, you're not going to get that.
Byrne had a poor game in the Southampton game as well, I thought.
He did.
Byrne.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought he was all right first half against Gineppo. I don't think Gineppo done very well. But then as soon as Adam Armstrong came on, like, you turned him inside out. And Armstrong looked really sharp when he came on.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a general worry, like the lack of goals. Like, it's a good job we've got the best defence in the league, literally by like a lot, because we're scoring like not too many goals, and I think it's time for a change up front. Like,
I think the easy wins, obviously, putting Isak in for Wilson, because then you don't have to worry so much about. Like, I know you got to press from the front and stuff, but you don't have to worry so much about helping out any of the defenders. Maxi coming in, I think if you bring Maxi in, you've got to really keep Joe Linton in the team, don't you? Because he gives more defensive cover than Willock, for example. But it would be harsh for Willock to be dropped, wouldn't it? So this is the problem Eddie's got.
I don't think it will be harsh. I don't think he's been... After the... what was the game before Southampton? Palace.
Yeah, Palace.
I didn't think he was brilliant. I know he's been running with the ball, he can carry the ball. Maxi can do that as well. But I haven't been happy with Willock's end product.
He had two fucking shocking efforts in the first half.
Yeah.
Like, appalling me. Like, his head, like, just keep your head. That first... What was it in the first 10 minutes? First 5 minutes? I can't remember.
It was
when he glazed it over the bar. He could have taken 2 touches. It's like, just settle down. What's the point in running and shooting from the edge of the box? Like, it's not the 90th minute. You don't need to, like, we're not losing. Like, just chill out. Just keep your head. I don't think you can do that. Obviously, we know what Longstaff's like as well, but...
Wait, the one time he did was at the end of the first half when he was cut inside, turned his man, and then we had the Joe Linton incident when, like, he scored and then it was disallowed. But that was from Willock, like, turning inside, putting his man on his arse, and then, like, obviously having the shot.
He can't do it. It just doesn't seem... I don't know. It doesn't seem consistent enough. I think there's enough
quick.
there.
He's really fucking quick.
But I think there's enough there to warrant giving Maxi a start for me. He hasn't been fucking outstanding man of the match every game. He's been a bit shaky. He's done good stuff. He's done worse stuff. So I'd personally like to see Maxi start. He hasn't started. Maxi's back to how sharp he usually is, I think. And we've played the same team over and over and over and over again. I think we need to mix it up with this.
See, I keep coming back to this fact that they haven't really been training as well, which if Maxi gets a week of training, he might impress enough in training to get the nod. Because you can't really, like, force you in if you're not training and impressing.
Well, this is it.
And whether that's affecting the finishing as well, like, finishing's been dire this last sort of, like, month. So if they haven't been training, like, on the training pitch as well, like, everyone keeps saying, like, oh, they must be, like, doing shooting drills and practicing the finishing. Well, obviously they haven't.
Not doing shooting drills.
No.
If you look at Longstaff and fucking Willock, Jesus Christ.
Even Joe Linton's second chance that he blazed over. I think that was one of them things, like, But
that's it. I missed like
that was terrible. That night. It was freaking bad. He even laughed. He turned around and laughed because it was that bad. I think it was just one of them things, just a fuck up. You know what I mean? Like his finishing has actually been alright. I like VAR. That was appalling. That was such a relief that their goal didn't count. They both count. They both don't count.
I think they leveled it up, mate.
I think they did. Well, I don't think they should have stood anyway because, obviously the rule is if it hits the hand, it clearly hits his hand. It doesn't hit Joelinton's hand. If it hits the hand and that leads to a goal, it's a no goal. So they shouldn't have stood for me at all. I mean, take that rule out, and I would have given it because there's no Adam Armstrong could have done. You know what I mean? But that's the actual rule. Whereas Joelinton's, it didn't even touch his arm.
Didn't hit his hand.
So on paper, they should have been disallowed. Ours should have been allowed, but at least they were both cancelled out.
It took about 10 seconds to decide it wasn't in. It was fucking stupid.
Aye.
It was so quick. Like, there was a couple of camera angles which, like, clearly showed it didn't hit his arm. And it's like, did they show it? Did they show it once? Did they slow it down? Like, fucking
the
mad.
difference between the two is that the ref, like blew and disallowed Joelinton's instead of his handball. So VAR would have had to overturn the ref's decision. And they basically said that, like, wasn't clear enough to overturn it. And then, obviously, with Adam Armstrong's, he gives the goal. And then, because he properly smashes it off his hand, they were like, well, the ref needs to overturn it.
You know what they need to do? They need to use the fucking screen. Send the ref over to the screen.
That's what I was going to ask. Like,
I'm not really sure.
Use it?
Because they only use it when it's 100% getting overturned. If it's a 50-50 call or whatever, the ref could have like looked at that a second time and decided, no, I still think it hits Joelinton's arm, and then disallow it. And then Newcastle fans would have been like, well, right, he's had a second look at it.
Is the fourth official not checking the screen though, and then telling the ref?
Yeah,
is that not happening?
No, I don't think so.
It's like VAR. If they don't know, they should be going, ref, you need to go and have a look at this because we're a bit unsure. You're the ref, you make your mind up. But like this, they don't. They say, I don't think it is. So the ref goes, all right, it's not. Just fucking.
Yeah, but it's meant to be clear and obvious, though.
But they need to tell it. It doesn't fucking work like that anymore, does it? It's meant to be for clear and obvious. It doesn't. It gets into the finical little fucking margins. It's ridiculous.
We should just bin VAR in general. That's my opinion on that. It was better, way better before.
The offside calls are ridiculous now. They're basically like the two lines are basically on top of each other, and they're like, "Yeah, he's offside."
That's it. And the officials are like not making decisions because they're like, "Oh, we've got VAR to fall back on." Like they should still be doing the job.
We've said on the pod for like months, like linos don't make decisions. They just don't give anything. It's pointless. Take away linos if you've got VAR.
They are pointless. They give fouls and that's it.
They don't even give fouls.
They check the balls in the corner when they're taking a corner. They like have a little look at the ball. Oh, you're alright, son.
It's disgusting when you watch it live at a match, and like as soon as the ball goes out, we look at the lineup straight away, and he hasn't got a fucking clue. The ref will give it one way, so then the line will put his flag up. It's like it's literally your job to do that. That's your territory. You don't fucking do it.
It's literally like Sunday League when one of the dads would be the linesman.
One of the dads would give it to the best team.
Stick the flag up as soon as they score.
If you're away, the flag's going up, all the time.
If you get beat 1-0 or something, the flag's up.
You see a flag, it's a t-shirt on a stick or something.
Bib.
Bib on a stick, classic. But,
back on the Adam Armstrong one though, did they actually send the ref to the screen?
Did the fuck?
I can't remember.
They called it.
So how does that work? Because he gave the goal, and then they overturned his decision. So I thought they couldn't overturn it like a handball. I thought that they'd go to the screen.
I'm guessing because it just clearly hit his hand.
No. Let's move on from balls. Just piss everyone off.
Well, with that obviously goal being chalked out, Pope's record continues, and now he's got like the longest clean sheet record.
I don't understand how you can get man of the match.
Yeah. I know, it was weird that, like, Bruno got it. Bruno, for me, was nowhere near man of the match, but...
It's just like a popular pick. Like, the most, like, the flair player. It's like KDB getting, like, when Belgium won in the World Cup and KDB got it and he had a fucking bollocks game, but he got man of the match because Belgium won. It was kind of like that. Bruno didn't have his best game, but because he's the flair player, the best player, whatever you want to call it, got the man of the match.
Yeah, so it was a bit... But I mean, to be fair to Bruno, after the game, he was saying that Nick Pope kept us in it and he was...
Best in the world?
Best keeper in the world,
That's what he said, was it?
Oh!
Yeah, he said, I think Nick Pope's the best goalkeeper in the world.
And you know, like, he obviously plays for Brazil with Liverpool's keeper and City's keeper. Yeah. So, like, he's basically saying he's better than them.
They'll be having words in the next Brazil camp.
Yeah.
I heard what you said. There was plenty of them going around on Tuesday.
What about Bruno screaming in that lad's face when he was getting sent off?
Oh, he's fucking buzzing when he
got a yellow.
When Alcaraz chopped him down, he was fucking calling him. That Lyango who's Brazilian, he was calling him. And then when the fucking Salata Sar got sent off, he was fucking in his face as well.
That Alcaraz is Argentinian, isn't he? So they've got that bit rivalry kind of thing. But when you go on about Bruno there, what do you think about the Jacob Murphy thing?
Class. Absolutely class.
See, I thought it was, at first when I watched it, I was like, wow, what a fucking legend.
You've been swayed by Twitter, I fucking know you have. You loved it. But you went on Twitter and some people are like,
you know what? No,
you come back.
I even tweeted about it. I tweeted saying give him a fucking long contract. But now it's over.
It's already gone.
I'm thinking this could bite us in the arse. Or could bite
It's another 180, isn't it?
Now I've settled down after the game.
Why?
I thought if they score like a winner, you know for a fact they're running straight over to the bench and doing that to Jacob Murphy. That's what I would fucking do, 100%.
I don't care. Look at me.
It's proper shit house. I loved it, but looking back, I'm thinking, just because it's only 1-0. If it was a second leg, I wouldn't be as off. But I just don't want it to come back and bite you on the arse. That's the only thing.
It's not going to, because we're going to win the cup.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Go on, Murphy, then.
I think he mainly did it because he like pushed Bruno on that, didn't he? It wasn't just because he was getting sent off. It's like he was being an arsehole, basically, wasn't he? So he was just waving his face.
Didn't he do it to the what manager was it? It was the Fulham manager, Silva. He was like that on the camera.
Yeah,
he was fucking raging. He walked past him. But,
he's just all about the memes these days, isn't he?
That's all he's got, to be fair. Kind of
apart from his blistering pace.
I forgot about his pace.
So wait, you're filling in for Page. You need to be on his side. You need to be Murphy.
Just looking back at Armstrong though, actually, when he scored, he's obviously a boyhood Newcastle fan.
Celebrating
like that. Yeah, he celebrated like mad. But like I thought, it didn't bother us. But I was thinking, because he obviously got let go when he was on the fringes. Do you think that was him trying to prove a point and say, I fuck you, type of thing? I saw it, where he celebrated like that. I mean, he hasn't really got any loyalties to Newcastle. He didn't really play for it, out like that. Yeah, he's
like Tony, I guess.
From up here. So I was a bit like, well, you don't have many loyalties. He went to Blackburn. He got to Blackburn from us. Did he go somewhere else first?
I think he went to Blackburn. He went to Blackburn before he went to Southampton.
He did classic Blackburn. When there was obviously talk about us re-signing him by 30 million, something really ridiculous. But I think it was a bit of fuck you, but it was also the fact that he hasn't got any loyalties to us at all. You know what I mean?
You've got to remember as well, like, semi-final of a cup competition, you've just pulled it back, like...
Yeah, that was a player now, isn't he?
He's not a starter for him as well, so scoring a big goal like that, like, I've got no qualms with him celebrating that, like...
No, I don't. I was just... Obviously, people have got different opinions that you always have people on Twitter saying, oh, cheeky bastard, celebrating all that. So, well, why wouldn't you?
To be fair, I was quite happy to see that Mara go off when he did. I thought he was having, like, he's a fucking problem. Obviously, he scored the goal against City in the last round. I thought he'd give the defenders a bit of a problem. He looked sharp.
Is that him who Pope wiped out?
No, that was Gineppo. I thought Gineppo was having a strike game, to be honest. It was the striker,
Yeah.
the light longer hair.
Oh, right, aye. That Armstrong came on for him.
Armstrong came on for Gineppo, yeah.
What did you think about that, Popey? Right, and I went for the ball and he obviously caught the player. But what's your thoughts on that?
I don't even understand how it's a free kick, mate.
It wasn't a free kick?
It wasn't a free kick.
I give the throw in the end.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, give it a concussion, like.
Blew, but the ref blew. I think that was for the concussion, wasn't it?
Well, must have been stop player, head injury or whatever.
It was just, I don't know how you can say it.
On BN Sports, they were talking at half time, and like basically the lass who was like the presenter or whatever was asking the pundit, like, "Oh, isn't that endangering a player and all that?" And it's like, what are you on about? Like, he's literally just ran and headed the ball.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
their player doesn't challenge for it. He just stops and lets himself get wiped out. So it's like either move or compete for the ball.
You can't not go for the ball because there's a player there.
They even asked Eddie Howe about it after the game. It's like, what's football coming to?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Non-point.
While we're talking about Nick Pope, though, his save against fucking Adams, Jesus, I thought that, like,
Jay Adams, yeah.
clean through.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely clean through. What a save.
Yeah.
He's so good. Like, he has to be England's number one now. Like who else is? Everyone's saying now. Even
Ramsdale.
But you look at the clean sheets and stuff, though. Like, it's Pope. You know what I mean? Like, everyone says, "Oh, Ramsdale," because he's playing for Arsenal. But
yeah,
Pickford was playing for Everton when they were mid-table. He's still number one. You know what I mean? But even Nathan Jones came out and said he's the best goalkeeper to do a goalkeeper's job in the Premier League by a country mile. He said, he's not great with his feet. You do get other keepers that are brilliant with their feet. That's not Nick Pope's game. But as an out-and-out goalkeeper, he was like, the modern game now is judged on feet. But as an out-and-out goalkeeper, Nick Pope is by far the best keeper in the league. And I agree with him. He should be. I know everyone's going to say, "Oh no," because he had a shit Nations League, which he did. But it's has to be in contention for the number one jersey for you. It has to be.
I think if you pick the team on form, then definitely. But we know that that's not the case with England, despite what Southgate said previously. So I wouldn't be surprised.
No. But
probably would have won the World Cup if Pope was in goal. He'd have definitely saved a few.
Oh yeah, some of them that Pickford let in just like an extra inch on his hand.
Yeah. We haven't even spoke about the fucking goal, by the way. Joe Linton finally putting it in the net.
Finally.
Well, Isak
fucking by Isak, ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was almost like
just
slow
leaves him,
motion.
doesn't
Yeah, it was like
I know, yeah.
It wasn't even a turn. He just I don't know, just passed it down the line to himself and ran on to it. But like that's when he knows how sharp he was. When he did that, he was like, fucking hell, he absolutely dusted him, yeah.
But that's the thing, you never see Wilson running the channels. Like, you've got Isak who can mix it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Isak and Maxi coming on though and like looking really sharp and really good, do you think that's partly because it's like towards the end of the game they got fresh legs?
That'll help.
We'll have some element to it, yeah.
Probably.
So
probably
like,
a tactic from Howard to keep them back.
Do you think they'll be used as impact? So, oh yeah, true, yeah.
When Murphy comes on, he can do shit like that. You know what I mean? You don't notice that. You notice he's quick, but is his pace so pacey because every other fucker's knackered? You know what I mean? He's not actually that quick, just because everyone's fucked. There's a point.
Thing is, as well, though, to be fair, Murphy wasn't signed like as a 65 million like club record fee.
Yeah. But I think it was his movement there was quite. He ball into the box was absolutely perfect. But
no, that's the thing.
What's strange is though, the past few games we've had nobody in the box for a ball like that. We've had nobody there. Luckily enough, Joe Linton was absolutely bombing it into the box. So if obviously he wasn't there, we wouldn't have won that game. So it's whether
he got there like 3 times, didn't he? He could have had a hat trick of them basically.
Yeah, definitely.
With the one that was disallowed, there was like 4 were queuing up to put it in as well.
I wonder if that's something that was worked on, because that was so noticeable in the past few games that we've had nobody in the box. We scream about it all the time at the Masters, but there's one person there, it's Wilson.
So many
Wilson
balls
misses the ball,
across the
and go to him. Yeah, there's nobody else following it up. So it must have been something they've worked on, definitely. But did you see, by the way, when Isak was balling, Isak ended up in the crowd? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Trippier had to go and get him out because he was nowhere to be seen. Trippier ran straight past Joe Linton to go and get Isak out of the fucking crowd because he'd just gone. Like I looked at the back of the
Did you get a yellow card for that or not? Did you get a yellow card for going in the crowd?
I don't think he did. I don't think the ref noticed.
I didn't notice he went in until I seen the replay of Trippier going into the crowd to get him, and I couldn't see Isak in the crowd.
I didn't see Trippier going in. I just saw, like, when they're celebrating, Isak just comes back over the barrier, and I was like, where the fuck's he been?
Trippier didn't go into the crowd. He just ran past Joe Linton to the barriers. He was obviously screaming, fucking get back in here.
Yeah.
But
I saw Trippier a few times, actually. Did you see when Longstaff picked up his yellow, which was for, like, just petulance, I think, basically? And Trippier was fucking, like, not happy with him at all. So I think he's proper, like, like, because he could have got a yellow card for that, Isak jumping over the barrier. Yeah. It's like anything stupid like that, he's just like, he has no patience for it.
No. Trippier gets more than anyone else on with you.
Yeah, but they're not pointless, are they?
No. He also probably makes the most tackles.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, he's got like a young, pacey winger going at him. He's going to have to foul him a few times, isn't he?
It was the same against Zaha. That's how he got his yellow card against him. Zaha got the wrong side of him, and he just slapped him.
Well, we had lots of possession again, which it's like every game we seem to be dominating possession. Bad finishing again. Corners again. Not very good.
We only had one.
But lots of them. We only had one.
Corner. Aye. I was keeping an eye on. I'm sure I had a bet on corners, and I'm sure we only got like maybe not one, but we didn't have fucking many. I'm sure we didn't have half as many as usual. We've had like 12 on that last few games.
Yeah.
But I know
we had more possession, but one corner.
Yeah.
Was it like 60-40 possession of them?
56.
56 was it? Right.
Yeah, I think that was like probably the toughest game we've had in a while in terms of like actually keeping a clean sheet.
It caused a lot of problems.
Because they took it to us. They weren't cagey. They just thought, fuck you, we're going at it.
Kyle Walker-Peters as well against Burn. He caused them problems.
To be fair, they're probably going to do that in the return leg, because they've got nothing to lose now. You know?
Yeah, it's going to us now, isn't it? We've got to.
Do you think the FA Cup will affect it though, with them playing at the weekend?
They'll play kids.
Because
they can't prioritise the FA Cup. Doing shouting.
Well,
They need to start. They need to stay in the league, and they've got a potential to be in a final. They'll fuck the FA Cup off 100%. We did. We fucked it off. You know what I mean? So
especially in the weekend in between a semi-final, like.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
they don't want any injuries and out like that. They're still in it massively. So they'd be stupid if they went for the FA Cup as well.
Home to Blackpool as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even if they stop people like Che Adams, like against Blackpool, like this should still win.
Good player still.
Aye.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Forest Man U game at all?
Yeah.
No. What were your thoughts on that? Because it looks like Man U are probably going to be getting through, doesn't it?
Forest
likely, aye.
Well, Forest looked bollocks for the first 20 minutes. And they saw that it just relax a bit and get into it a bit, but they didn't really have any end product, did they? Gives White looked class. Not class, really good. And Brennan Johnson looked really good, but again, they didn't really have much of an end product for me.
Did Chris Wood play or not?
No, he's cup tied.
I think he cup tied, and so he can't.
That's a nice shot.
In the stands,
if
that
we
really
play
good shot that
in
you
the
had
final
against
Chef
Wade.
Although you'd probably want Wood starting, wouldn't you?
Oh, Jesus or not. But,
I thought they played a few kids though, man. Like I think I only watched the second half. But there was like young. No, I think they did. Like there was young lads playing. I don't know if they just come on in the second half or something after they managed to score a couple, but there was definitely like a young, like I think he was South American or something on the right hand side or Spanish.
I think they've gone out.
He looked quality, yeah.
He's been on the fringes for a while, yeah.
Yeah, he's a player on Astro.
So, yeah, do you think they'll just like
I think they'll put a weaker team out next time.
Yeah, just play the kids.
They'll put a weaker team out. But you've still got that risk, obviously. Like, because now Forest is sort of shit at bust.
Well, yeah.
They're not exactly fighting for relegation as such. So it's like, well, it's a hard one because I think Forest are going to have to take the gamble of do they just sack it off. But if it comes out that an hour before the game, Man United are playing the kids, that could have been their chance to go for it.
I don't think they'll sack it off. Like, when was the last time they were in a semi-final of a cup comp?
They'll sack
it off. They've signed 23 players in the summer that can just rotate the full fucking squad.
Yeah, that's very true. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's still a semi, isn't it? So they're not going to. They can't. You're right. They can't sack it off. It's still a semi-final.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I think Man U will rotate though.
Yeah, Man U will. Yeah, they're pretty comfortable.
Like I've seen Man U's fixtures going up to the final, and like they've got like 3 or 4 games more than the Toon. They've got like the 2 games against Barca, and one of them's like a couple of days before the final. They've got the FA Cup, like obviously this weekend. I think they might have an extra league game as well. I think if Leeds don't draw at the weekend or something, they'll play Leeds in a league game as well. So that's 4 more games in between.
I think
now.
I read on it's already been moved, hasn't it, on Fantasy Premier League? I'm sure.
On Fantasy, I said like it's they said the stipulations of like when it won't move. So if Leeds draw, I think it is, at the weekend in the FA Cup, they'll have a replay, and then that replay will like move it or something like that. So as I think as long as like Leeds either win or lose at the weekend, I think that match will go ahead. So it's like likely, but not guaranteed.
Sorry, no, I was going to go to another topic, so you go.
I was as well, so you can go for it.
All right, I was just going to go on a complete tangent and say, has anyone seen the Burnley announcement video for the new footy player?
It's fucking awesome.
It's a long time.
Oh yeah.
Pete, did he get paid for that?
Really?
If you haven't seen it, like, go and watch that. It's one of the better ones.
I scrolled past it. Yeah, I'll go and watch it. Is it good? Like,
aye, like
funny.
In the summer, like they had some fucking belters, but like this one is probably one of my favourites. Like,
yeah, what was the one in the summer where it was like a conveyor belt and it was everything that rhymed with his name?
Yeah, it was Nathan Teller. It was Nathan Teller.
Like,
it was like Arctic Monkeys, Arabella.
Yeah.
It's the old like game show where they go like along and they've got to remember the items going along the conveyor belt. Can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Prices, no. Jim Davison's game show or something. Generation game. Man. You and Peter are going to be at the match on Tuesday night.
We are indeed.
Not.
Are you actually going to take your scarf this time, Pete?
I took it last time, mate. I just didn't take it. I took it the Leicester game. I just didn't take it to the Premier League game. But yes, the scarf is coming.
What do you make of this two-team scarf thing that's been flying around? Half and half.
Half and half scarf? Yes, man. Fair enough if you go away to Europe or something like that and you play, I don't know, Real Madrid and you get a Newcastle Real Madrid one. You think,
like a souvenir.
A souvenir. I no bother with that, but fucking hell. There were people like Southampton, Newcastle scarves. Give it a rest, man.
I think we're probably too soon after the takeover to get like a lot of tourists coming in and buying Southampton, Newcastle scarves yet.
I know. I've never seen them outside St James's. The little scarf type. I've never seen them. Always in all games.
Someone will pop up there soon.
I've never seen them.
They're awful crack, I think. But anyway, are you expecting a real good atmosphere?
Yeah.
Or do you think they'll be too nervous?
No, there's going to be a lot of people buzzing. Like, it's just huge out your phone's ringing now. Everyone's
I'll be back.
Professional as ever.
Is he paused it? Or is he paused it? Oh, we're still
No. We're still going. Oh.
I mean, that's fine.
It'll be for his butler in the buff service. Someone giving him trying to make a booking.
What you mean he hasn't ordered one?
Could have been that as well.
You have to cut that out, yes.
Nah, we'll just leave it in. Sorry. Anyone's watching anyway, it's fine.
I think it's going to be. I think everyone's going to be buzzing for it. Like, me and Dawson, it's obviously a midweek game. Me and Dawson, if it was a midweek game, we'd just drive, but we've always said we're going to be here. Like, I'm finishing work early, he's working from home. We're going home, straight into town, straight to Blackwater, straight on it.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Simply got to.
Simply has to.
A couple of lads were going for some date, like a bit scram before the game, and me and Dawson spoke about it, and we're like, nah, straight to Blackwater.
What time is it?
2 hours, please, darling. 8 o'clock.
That bloke who works in Blackwater is going to hate you, like.
Nah, it's fucking loves it.
2 hours, please, darling. Right, let's wrap this up because I've got a bloke coming to me door. So let's have some score.
I'm getting ended early because you've got some fucking bloke at the door.
Well, we can carry on if you want, like, but
you can get this on the BBC, yeah.
Let's have some score predictions. Obviously, we're 1-0 up, but we'll go with the score.
2-0.
3-0.
2-0.
2-0, as in 3-0.
3-0. 3-0 overall. 2-0 on Tuesday.
I think we're going to fucking batter them.
I reckon 1-1.
Like it.
There's not a lot of people conceded. 10 games.
What did you say, George? 1-0?
1-1.
Okay, now.
You think we're going to concede it in James' Park?
1-1. Squiddy bum time.
What's this guy on?
What are you joking?
1-1. Did you actually say a score?
3-0. 3-0 on the night. Going to win 4-0 total.
3-0 on the night.
Quick maths.
Fair enough. I'm gonna say 2-0. Same as Pete.
Good score, mate. Good score. Good strong score.
Yeah. Although I'm not expecting any rotation, so I can't really see we're conceding at all.
It's going to be an absolute smash up if we win. Like, it's going to be. Nobody's leaving that ground for fucking ages. So I hope this.
No.
I hope it's not the same DJ as last time. And he's going to have to do that because it is going to be unreal. I'm buzzing like a fridge. I cannot wait.
Yeah. I'm like the last couple of pods I've kind of signed off with like almost like too confident. So I'm wary of doing that on this one in case we jinx it, seeing as we didn't beat Palace and that. But we've got 1 foot in the final. 1 foot in the grave. have your AirPods just died, Pete?
Yeah, just in time, yes.
You can hear some echo.
Feedback. On that note.
On that note,
no, don't.
Guys, if you liked any of this, I can't even get through with that echo. We'll just
Pete, mute yourself.
We'll just
get out.
Hi, laters, lads.
It's actually gone. Guys, if you enjoyed the episode, like, subscribe, follow us on all podcast platforms. Look for us on social media. We'll be dropping that picture of Dorse getting glared at by Joe Linton. And we'll we'll have some good footage from the semi-final second leg as well at St James's Park. Dorse, enjoy
I'll
it.
get a nice video of the semi. and then I'll video the match.
All right, see you later.
Wanna hear you go.